Okay, welcome to our intro class today. I'm really excited. We have a great group of people who are going to share their stories and their knowledge with us. And I'm just the host and guide for the call today, but I do want to just share quickly just a teeny bit of my story, which is that I had a very sick baby, which is what led me into natural health. And then not quickly, but I learned of Young Living essential oils while I was learning of all kinds of holistic means. And we saw drastic impacts in our family's health. And I really have never looked back. In the last 6.5, almost 7 years that we've been using oils, we have only had to go to the doctor for well visits and 2 broken bones, which unfortunately needed a cast. But other than that, we've been really able to feel empowered to take control of our health, which has been such a blessing. So I have been sharing Young Living and teaching about Young Living for about 6 years now, 5.5 years now. I have to do the numbers at some point. I will do that. But the point is that I just like to share what I learn. I'm not an expert. None of us are experts. We just share the things that we learn that work for us and work for our bodies. And I love to experiment on ourselves because that's the beauty of these oils, is they're very safe. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to Adi so she can talk about the importance of why we choose to put in our bodies and in our homes what we do. Adi, I'm handing to you. I think you're still on mute if you're trying to talk. Oh no, I think she just got load shedded. Okay, let me take the next segment. So the next thing we were going to talk about was toxins and how they impact our body and why do we care. Sorry, I just saw her drop off. So one of the biggest things I learned in my journey with my son, I was nursing him. So everything that I was putting on my body and in my body impacted him because it came out of my breast milk. And I had a very, I would say somewhat open-minded, progressive doctor who basically said, it's you. It's everything that you're touching and putting on your body and using in your home that's making your child sick. Which I know it's kind of weird that I call that Dr. Progressive, but at the time, everyone else was just trying to give me a drug to try to mask the symptoms of his issues. And that was not the problem. The problem was that I needed to heal his little baby body. And we're talking infant. He was 3 months old when things came to a head. So very tiny baby. And so I took a trash bag as I started to learn about things. Oh, Adi, you're back up. Can I hand to you to talk about toxins? I don't want to take your slot if you're here. I'm going to guess that she has not a great signal. So what I learned is that the average woman puts over 100 over 100 different chemical toxins on her body before she even has breakfast in the morning, which is really scary if you think about it. And these chemicals have drastic effects on our health. Everything from affecting our fertility, our thyroid, causing cancer, lots and lots of yucky things that we just don't want. And some of the heaviest hitters are things that we use in just our everyday products in our home that we assume are safe, but sadly they're just not. And it's really appalling when you hear some of the things that we've learned over the years, is that the word fragrance can, at least in the US, and I think it's actually even worse in some other countries like South Africa, can contain up to 300 chemicals in that one word. And I can tell you for sure in the United States that no one's even checking to make sure that there's only 300 in that word. It's this like wild west of chemical dumping ground in that word fragrance. And when we talk about essential oils, they are made from plants, but fragrance is made from chemicals. If a product has a smell to it, and it doesn't say what the essential oils are, then it's either labeled hidden under the word fragrance or parfum. So it's really good to, if there's one thing you're going to kick out of your house first, I would say look for things that have that word, because it is literally a dumping ground for chemicals, because it's considered trademark, that no one else can have that smell, right? That's the underpinnings of how that legislation was put through, that the word fragrance could be this dumping ground for chemicals. Some of the other things that are heavy hitters that we really look for are sodium lauryl sulfate or sodium lauric sulfate. So if you go to a health food store and you see a package of like shampoo and it says no SLS, that's what that is. So sodium lauryl, sodium lauric sulfate is a foaming agent. You find it in soaps, you find it in toothpaste, you find it in shampoo, and it is literally the thing that causes that huge foaming to happen. Now, lather is normal for soap. That's all well and good, but foam is a totally different thing. Some of the other things that are heavy hitters that we look for are things like triclosan. So anything that says antibacterial on it is literally a topical antibiotic. So when you apply it to your skin to say, wash your hands with this antibacterial hand soap, it's doing a few things. One is it's killing all your good bacteria, which we need to protect our bodies, and as well as the bad bacteria. So as soon as you leave that sink, you now have no fighting power against the bad bacteria. The other part that's really scary is it goes directly into our bloodstream through our skin. Our skin is our largest organ. There is no filter. It goes straight through our skin and kills our microbiome in our gut. And if you haven't heard like all the talking about microbiome in the natural community, it's definitely something to look into, because we are made up of bacteria and viruses, and they work together. They can work together synergistically when you have a good balance of good bacteria, which we don't want to be killing with topical or even internal antibiotics if we can avoid them, which we have ways to do that. So I'm hoping that Rose is going to be, actually I'm handing to Anna. Anna, I'm hoping you're on here. Did I lose you, Anna? I think I lost Anna too. This is becoming the Allie class. Sorry about that. So I want to talk a little bit about why Young Living. So Young Living started as a supplement company and then started. Oh, there you go. Shell? Are you trying
Anna's also in the Sea Point area, so she'll also be off. We've all been cut off, but I've got a special like thingy which I can still be connected in the same area.
Okay, well, if you okay, sorry, I can't, there's a lot of messages coming to me at once. If you couldn't tell, I was distracted. Everyone's telling me that someone is offline, but I'm just going to keep going forward, and hopefully we can hand off at the time. We can hand off. So why Young Living? So so all these chemicals and toxins are just things that we really don't need to be beautiful or to be healthy or to be clean. We can be clean and beautiful without all of these chemicals. And that's really what does lead us to Young Living, which, as I started to say, is started off as a supplement company, then started to introduce essential oils into the supplements, and then essential oils on their own. But it has now become a lifestyle company, truly because the members of this company or the customers of this company have demanded that we have safe and effective products for our homes, because it's a company that people trust. So Young Living is over 26 years old now. It is still a family-owned company with no intention of ever changing that. It was founded by Gary and Mary Young, hence the name Young Living. And I actually just got off the phone on a call with Mary, talking just about always centering around what the values are for this company, which is to bring natural health to the world. And it is the only essential oil company that owns all their farms or has very strict partnerships with partner farms. And these partner farms are really a beautiful partnership with Young Living. And in many cases, it gives a family farmer a way to maintain their farm and not have to give it up in these trying times, and have a way to have a sustainable farming practice following organic standards, and very important, the sustainability is key. And so Young Living really teaches the partner farms how to follow these, what we call seed to seal standards. So a seed to seal standard is basically saying that we, from the time that a seed is planted all the way to its growth and its harvest, and it goes into the bottle with the seal on it, it follows the standard. So every single batch of oil goes through more than 40 different tests to make sure that it is the plant that we thought it was, that it was a good distillation, that the chemical constituents are high enough in that distillation, that there are nothing inorganic or chemical that ever got onto that oil or that plant. So that this kind of standard is something that exceeds really everything else in the industry. And I wish that we had Smell-O-Vision or Zuma Smell, or I need to come up with a name for it, but there's really no way to truly understand how powerful these oils are and compare them to other brands until you've smelled them next to each other. And then you know the quality and the purity of these plant oils and these products. So Young Living is a very, very unique company. In addition, Young Living has a foundation that is from all over, the foundation works all over the world to make the world a better place. So you will not find Mary Young driving a fancy car and living in a fancy house. And you will not find really most of the leaders in this company, really any of the leaders of this company, doing that. What they do is they reinvest back into the community because that is where their heart is. So they do things to help with sex trafficking and with, things like jiggers that are this parasite that gets into children's feet that then they're ostracized from their community. So there's all these different programs that Young Living works with around the world to make the world a better place, because that is their mission and their goal. It's really a beautiful company. I came from corporate America, and I was convinced by my best friend to attend a convention with Young Living my very first year of using oils, and I was just like, I don't know what is going on here, but this is like the most beautiful community of people. Everyone is helping everyone else. Everyone is happy. The company, the founders, Mary and Gary, always say, we don't make a product for a profit, we make it for a purpose. And it's just such a beautiful thing coming from corporate America to see that, like, some of our best-selling products are our least expensive products. So it's just really, really amazing to see what this company does. I'm hoping that we have Rose on the call, and I can hand to Rose to talk about how we use oils.
Hi everyone, Ali, can you hear me? Okay, fantastic. Hi everybody. For my first international call, or on the first time I'm on a Zoom, yes, the ways we use oils are actually, there's three main ways that we use oils. And of course, the first one is to smell it. Our senses, we use all five of our senses, and the best one is to smell it. We've got beautiful diffusers that you can put in your oils with a little bit of water and diffuse it night and day whether you need an upliftment or if you need to concentrate, you can use peppermint or something like that. Or the one I love the most, and I had to use before we started with this call with Valor oil, is you take a few drops into the palms of your hands and you rub that together and you make your scent tent over your mouth and your nose, and you breathe that in. And with our senses, the moment your body, or how your body works, is the moment you smell something, your body reacts before your brain even has time to realize. With everything else, your brain reacts first and then your body. But when you smell something, your body reacts before your brain actually does anything else about it. The other way that is the most common way is topically. You can either put it with a carrier oil, and you can put that into your favorite, or into a favorite moisturizer or something, but preferably with a proper carrier oil on your skin, anywhere you would like to apply it. Or you can use the oils neat if you have a small burn wound or even an open wound. You can use the lavender or one of our other frankincense oils, or something that can help your wounds heal. And you can put that directly onto the wound or onto the place where you need it the most. And the third one that's only available in Young Living is you can actually take it internally. You can either put it under your tongue, neat, or you can put it into a vegetable capsule. There's so many oils. I'm new to our oily world, so I can't mention half of the oil that is available. but it is definitely, especially like your citrus oils, your lemon and citrus, all the other citruses you can get, and peppermint. I love peppermint in tea, in my herbal tea. That's one of my favorites. But yes, for now, that's all from me. Thanks. I think I give back to Ali at this stage for the rest of our presentation. Thanks, ladies.
Awesome. I'm hoping that we didn't lose all of our presenters. So thank you, Rose, for having signal. Thank you. So I want to quickly explain that Young Living has, in the States, we have almost 800 different products. Based on your country, you have a different amount. South Africa, I know we have a lot of South Africans on this call. And we just opened in South Africa this last October. So we have, we are constantly adding to the product line in South Africa, but every single country has a starter kit of some kind, and usually multiple kinds of starter kit. We are going to kind of talk more about the oils today because a lot of the other things are very simple to understand. We have an antioxidant drink, you drink it. We have cleaning products, you clean with them. We have toothpaste, you brush your teeth with them, right? Like you can kind of understand how to use most of the products. So, but with the essential oils, they're extremely versatile and there's so many ways to use them. So we're gonna focus on the essential oils and I'm gonna show you this is the US starter kit. And when you open it up, you just slide this off and it works very much the same in the South African kit. And same for, I know we have someone on from Saudi, it'll look very similar. And then you open it up and you see that there are oils inside of it. In the US kit, there's a little tray that you lift off and there's some more underneath that. But every country has its own kit and it's very much curated based on what are some of the things that we see, the issues that we see most often in these countries, right? That we can address. It's kind of like your oily medicine kit, for lack of a better word. And it pretty much you can address every body system except for balancing hormones. So we absolutely can balance hormones with essential oils, but that's not something they put in the starter kit. So if you're talking about digestive system or respiratory system or your muscular system, like there is an oil for that in one of these starter kits that you get in your country. So I'm gonna now hand it off. I'm hoping that Thea has signal. Yes, I see her on. Thea, can I take it off? Hand off to you to tell your story. Yes.
Okay, thank you, Ali. Can everyone hear me? Okay, hi. Hey everyone, I'm Tia and a part of this amazing community for about the last 7 months. Yeah, excuse my English. I'm a proper and proud Afrikaans girl, so this is a bit challenging for me. Okay, so I would like to share my story on how my journey started with Young Living and how thieves became my best friend. Okay, to give you all a bit of background, my oldest son, who's almost 11 now, has had this bad chest since birth, and we were basically in the hospital on a monthly basis due to some chest or lung-related illness. Believe me or not, this same boy has been blessed with an amazing talent. He's a competitive swimmer. He loves every second in the water, and obviously his mother is his biggest supporter. Okay, beginning of this year, he qualified to go swim regional champs, but needed one more qualifying time on his 200 IM. It's an individual medley. I just want to add that his 200 IM is his best event at this stage and also his favorite. Yeah, we had one opportunity at a qualifying gala for him to get a time for that event. And the morning before this qualifying gala, he woke up with a fever of more than 39 degrees. He coughed very badly and he couldn't breathe properly. In tears, I called his coaches to break the news that there was no way he could swim the next day. The next moment, one of his coaches, who's also a very, very dear friend of mine, were at my doorstep with a Young Living box in her hands. The next part is actually quite funny, but so very true. I'm not even shy about it, but yes, at that stage of my life, the word essential oils didn't exist in my vocabulary. I absolutely had no idea what it was. Okay, so to come back to my friend on my doorstep with the Young Living box in her hands, up and until today, I still can't remember everything she told me to do with these little bottles. All I remember is the thieves, the thieves, the thieves. She gave me a blend for the diffuser. I can't remember what it was. And then told me to dilute the thieves and apply under his feet and over his spine every hour or so. I was so confused, but in the same breath, I was heartbroken for my boy. So I was open to try anything. I want to add, I was not very positive about these little bottles at that stage, but applied it about every hour until we went to bed that evening. The next morning, that was now the day of the gala, I was shocked. Yeah, I'm still shocked. I came across a super healthy boy in his room, getting ready and getting rest on his way to his gala. I thought that I maybe overreacted, or I was dreaming for that matter, but yes, my son's fever was gone. He's breathing normal and he didn't have any sign of a cough. I looked him through again and again. He was healthy, and yes, we went swimming. He had an awesome day in the water and even swam a personal best time that day, and obviously qualified for his regional champs. So yeah, after that, I talked to my friend, and this was my exact words to her. I don't know what this is. I don't care what the cost is, but I want this for my family. And yes, as the saying goes, the rest is history. So yeah, now 7 months in my journey, I have so many more testimonials, and it is so, so, so rewarding to play and make my own blends and recipes and really help my family. It's just so amazing, and I can't describe it in any words. I'm so glad that I was introduced to such an amazing product, and I feel blessed being a part of the community I'm in. So yeah, that's my story. Thank you all for listening. I'll be handing over to my dearest friend, Olinka. By the way, she's the coach and the special friend I talked about earlier. Okay, bye everyone.
Hi guys, can you hear me? Okay, so I'm Wilinka, and I'm so excited to share my story with you tonight. I also live in a small town in South Africa, and English is my second language. So I'm very nervous to do this tonight. So please excuse me if I do any flaws. So my journey started in December 2019. I was so desperate to do something for my poor little 18-month-old boy. He was on chronic meds from the age of 2 weeks. And every month we had to buy allergy meds, Avamys, which is the cortisone nose spray. And every month he was basically for 5 days on celestamine. Not even to speak about all the colic, the acid reflux, and the eczema medication and creams we went through. This poor little body was packed with chemicals. And then Anna came and introduced me to Young Living, and oh boy, am I so blessed with this decision. Thank you, Anna. So I bought the starter kit, very skeptical, but yet so freaking exciting about something that can help me get rid of all these chemicals. So I started using my 3 power oils, which were my 3 best friends, and which was peppermint, lemon, and lavender. Okay. These 3 oils, they call this the sinus trio. And as sinus and allergy and asthma are the main concerns in our household, I started using them by diffusing it day and night. By the end of January, I actually realized we didn't need to use Celestamine at all that month. So I took the chance and started reducing the medication to every second day. And I stopped using the cortisone nose spray and replaced it with my own lavender and purification nose spray. By the end of February, we were completely off any medication. All medication were gone. Today, in August, I can proudly say we haven't been using medication for about 7 months. In the meanwhile, he was 3 times sick. And every time, for 3 times, my heart started beating so fast because every single time he got sick, it ended up in antibiotics or in the hospital. For 3 times, I could have blessed him with oils and no chemicals. I must say, Tia, my best friend with sickness, is also thieves. So I must admit that these 3 oils and every single oil keeps on surprising me every single day. So to end my story, these 3 oils and all the other oils are life-changing. After what we went through with our little boy, me and my husband decided we don't want another baby, as it was just mentally, physically, emotional, so draining. But I can say that I've changed my mind just because I have oils. So yeah, that is how much I trust these oils, or the Young Living oils. And I'm so proud to be part of this amazing oily journey and to share what I feel and how I love this. So yeah, this is my story. For 8 months, I've been an oily gypsy, and I love every moment. So thank you that I can share my story, and I'm giving it over to Janet.
Hi, my name is Janet, and thank you for having me on the chat tonight. I've been with Young Living now for just over a year. I was introduced to Young Living by a friend of mine, Shelly Moyes, actually Shelly Myers now, in February last year, and it has completely changed my life in so many ways that it's really hard to pack it into just a short talk. But to give you an idea, at the time that I was introduced to the oils, my life was chaotic. It was unmanageable, and I found it very frustrating. I had been diagnosed with depression and had been treated for that for a number of years. I'd also suffered from anxiety, and I'd also just a few years before then been diagnosed with ADHD, which was very debilitating. It really affected my ability to focus, and of course my efficiency at work was severely debilitated from that. As a result, started struggling with my confidence, and my anxiety led into panic attacks, which almost rendered me unable to perform my job properly, and then into Young Living. And when I went to a workshop, I was introduced to the oils, and I had some knowledge, but a limited bit of knowledge. I had obviously been familiar with oils like eucalyptus and tea tree and such, and I knew that there was tremendous benefits in these oils. I mean, after all, they are called essential for a reason. And I remember when we smelt these oils, which is something that I really wish we could do over a Zoom call, because the smells are totally amazing. I became totally enthralled with the peppermint, and all I wanted was the peppermint oil, which I wanted to buy that one straight away, and I was really encouraged to go for the starter kit. And at the time, I couldn't appreciate the methodology behind it, but once I had the starter kit in hand, and this is the South African starter kit here that you get, and it opens up into the 10 different oils. Once I'd got that together with a diffuser, it really opened up the experience, and I was able to appreciate the wide range of benefits that I could derive from these oils. And in the starter kit, you got a number of oils, and the frankincense, which is the first one over here, that really lifted my depression. and it helped me to have a much a better spiritual awareness within myself, and it helped me to gain some more confidence, and it also helped me tremendously with my skin. So I started applying these oils in many ways, you know, with a diffuser, applying topically, as well as putting them into either my tea or my water. I would use peppermint and lemon, and which was very clarifying for my mind. But then you also have lavender here, which is a very calming oil. So that also helped me with my panic attacks. It helped me to slow down and live in the moment, which was very important for me, because no matter how fast you go, you tend to not really get anything further done. And you tend to become spun around in your own haste. And like my mom would say to me, slow down and you'll get more done. And she was quite right with that. And lavender was extremely beneficial for that. Also very helpful when I needed to relax after a hard day's work. The orange I found to be very like sunny in a bottle. Really, it uplifted my spirit, and I found, you know, put a drop on my toothbrush and it whitened my teeth. So I've got nice white teeth now, which was a great benefit. And the lemon had cleansing properties beyond the ability to de-acid my system. So that together with peppermint would clarify my focus and would also help my digestion as well. Citronella was also very good for the skin, as well as, of course, the usual, you know, getting rid of pests and that are in the air. But really what I liked was the radiata. And I see there was a question earlier about asthmatics, and that is truly a very beneficial one that opens up your chest, but doesn't open your chest only, it also opens up your mind. It gives a very clean aroma to your environment if you diffuse it. So that radiata is crucial for me. I find that is very uplifting, and as I say, it opens your mind as well. But now a game changer is Valor. Valor is something that I've slapped myself silly with now before this talk, because it's given me the confidence back. Something I really needed to be able to get back out there and to rebuild myself. And as I say, this, you know, this has changed me in so many ways that it's very hard to put into one talk. But the blends are absolutely amazing. Purification is one of the other blends which has got, in the word itself, purifies the air, gets rid of musty smells. If you have dogs in your home, or if you have smelly fish that you have been frying, you can use purification and it will eliminate those smells. But there was a hidden beauty about this oil, which is that it actually helps with anger issues. Well, it helped me with anger issues, and it helped my husband. You know, diffusing the oils in my home has not just brought benefits to me, but it brought to my whole family. And anybody who enters my home says, wow, they can actually feel that there's a difference within my home. And last but definitely not least is the Thieves. Now, Thieves is a blend which is absolutely amazing. It actually comes from many years ago. It comes from legends of the 15th century, where the thieves used to go rob the graves, and they put all these botanicals and these aromatherapies that was in, or these herbs that was in their mask. When they're caught by the king said to them, you know, I will not give you the death sentence if you tell me what your blend is, because during that time, you know, during the plague, they managed to rob the graves without getting killed by the disease that the bodies were infected by. And so they revealed their recipe to the king, and that's where Thieves is derived from. And there's an entire range of Thieves which is absolutely beautiful. But to say that these oils have changed my life is really an understatement. It would be more accurate to say that it's transformed my life. So I'd like to hand back to Ali. Thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of the talk.
I love hearing everyone's stories so much, and everyone has not just one story, but so many powerful stories. I'm like, it's emotional listening to all of you. I've heard Janet's story before, but I haven't even heard Tia and Alinka's story yet. So it's beautiful, really, honestly. So there are a lot of ways to learn about oils. And so I really, let me just say that we have talked about a lot of things in a very short period of time. And so when you get started with Young Living, I promise you, you will have so much hand holding with our community. There are WhatsApp chats, there are Facebook groups, you have a team to support you. So you don't have to have all this memorized. I promise you, you will have resources in the palm of your hand that will help you and guide you for all the questions you may have. Just know there's a saying, there is an oil for that. There is an oil for just about anything you can think of. And we'll make sure that we help you find the right fit for whatever you're dealing with. So I want to just briefly talk about ways to save money with Young Living. So there are 3 ways to save money. The first is start with a starter kit, because the starter kit is drastically discounted, and it also gives you access to membership pricing. So when you buy any kind of starter kit, you get 24% off of the retail price. And I always like to say that friends do not let friends pay retail. We like our friends to get discounts. So that's what we need to do. The second is that we have an optional loyalty program that I know that everyone on this call who's been using oils will say, like, it cannot be optional. You have to have it. It's called our Essential Rewards program, which is our loyalty program. And what it is that when you buy through Essential Rewards versus just a one-time quick order, you get a percentage back of everything you buy. Your only commitment is that you spend 50 PV, which is product value, each month on whatever you want, whenever you want, and then you get a percentage back of what you spend. So the first 3 months, it's 10%. After 3 months, it jumps to 20%. And after 25 months, it jumps to 25% back. And it just acts like a bucket of money with Young Living that you can spend on the product catalog of what you want to buy, which is a great way to pamper yourself or buy something that you maybe wouldn't want to spend your money on, or whatever you want. So sky's the limit. And the third way is that Young Living is a referral-based company. So that means that when I tell my friends, which I promise you, you're going to become obsessed with these oils like everyone else on this call, and you're going to tell your friends. So when you tell your friends, you just give them your member number, and Young Living sends you a thank you check for being the one to refer them. You don't have to stock anything. You don't have to sell anything out of your house. You don't even have to tell anyone if you don't want to. But if you do tell someone, Young Living will send you a thank you check for being the one to tell them, which is beautiful. So when you get started, please reach out to the person who sent you to this call. They will provide you with resources. They will tie you into chats and Facebook groups and whatever, give you all the resources that you need. So it's really, really important to go back to the person who sent you here so that they can guide you hand by hand on your journey. And I also wanted to tell you that we have 2 more classes this week. We have a class tomorrow about a few of our favorite things that we're going to talk about, have several people tell stories on the things that they use most. And then we have a class on Thursday if you are interested in an income opportunity with Young Living, which is, again, optional. There is a class on Thursday if you're interested in that. Same link, same time. So with that,